Hey guys, in 1992, yes, 31 years ago, I took out my very first student loan. And about 2 weeks ago, just paid off student loans. That's right, 31 years later, believe it or not. In this video, I'm going to explain to you exactly what happened, why it took so long to pay off all student loans. And I'm going to explain to you why we decided not to wait on the federal government's student loan debt forgiveness plan that's currently going through the Supreme Court right now. Now, you may be asking yourself, why in the world would someone with a seven-figure net worth still have student loans 31 years later? Well, I'm also going to share the answer to that question in this video. So let's jump into it. So I took out my very first student loan in 1992. Guys, I was going into my junior year of college. I had already taken 4 years to complete an associate's degree, and I paid for that associate's degree from a community college cash. And now in 1992, I was going to be a junior at a state college, and I needed some money to help pay for tuition, rent, and some other expenses I had as well. So I took out my first student loan. Now, I graduated college in 1994, and I became a school teacher. And in the 1990s, while I was teaching school, I also started working on my master's program. So I decided at that time in the mid-1990s to defer my student loans and not pay any of them. Well, fast forward a few years, in the year 2000, I got married. And when I got married, I came into the marriage with $25,000 of student loans, and my wife came into the marriage with her $25,000 of student loan. And so we put our loans together into one loan for $50,000. So in the year 2000, we owed $50,000. And as I think back to when I first got the student loan back in 1992 and signed on the dotted line, I remember that I was sane. I remember that I wasn't under any illusion. And I also remember that no one forced me to sign for student loans. And I also remember I was sober when I actually signed on the dotted line. Guys, I knew what I was doing when I signed for these student loans. I didn't realize it would take 31 years to pay them off, but I figured they were my responsibility back then. So fast back forward to 2000, we had $50,000 of student loans. And we got on what was called the Graduated Repayment Plan. Now, the Graduated Repayment Plan went something like this. Your payments start lower because you're not making as much money. And every 2 years, your payment was supposed to slightly increase as you begin to make more and more money. And the total graduated plan we were on was, I think, 25 years. And so your income is low now, you pay a lower amount. And as your income increased, you pay a higher amount. So from 2000 to 2013, we paid a little over $20,000 total of payments towards our student loans. But we made a cardinal mistake. We made a huge mistake. And that is from 2000 to 2013, we did a lot of forbearances. And when I say forbearances, I mean those are months that you don't have to pay your student loans. Now, what we didn't realize was that the interest on the loans each month would continue to accrue even though we got a forbearance that month. In other words, our payment started off at $350 per month. Now, only about $10 of that was paying on the principal. The other $340 was interest. So if we got a forbearance for 1 month, we didn't have to make the $350 payment, but the $340 of interest would keep accruing and be tacked on to the loan balance. So when you get a bunch of forbearances, your overall balance goes up because that interest keeps accruing even though you didn't have to make a payment that month. Now, why were we doing forbearances? Because of Christmas, birthdays, trips or vacations. We did a lot of things that we said, you know what? Let's not make that student loan payment this month. Let's divert that money over to something else. And lo and behold, here's what happened. By the time 2013 came around, although we had paid $20,000 towards the student loans, the balance of the student loans had gone from $50,000 in the year 2000 to $72,000 by the year 2013. Now, when I figured this out, I got highly upset, right? Very upset. I called the loan servicing provider and I chewed them out basically and said, listen guys, that's not fair how you guys did that. I should have read the fine print, totally get it. It's my responsibility, but guess what? I didn't like it, but guess what I could do? Nothing. So in 2014, early in 2014, I said, wait a minute, we owe $72,000 in student loan debt, but we've been paying all these years. Crazy. So I called the loan service provider again and I said, listen, put me on a 10-year plan. I don't care how much it's going to cost me per month, but put us on a 10-year plan and we'll knock it out. And guess what, guys? They did that. And our payment was around $1,400 or $1,500 per month, almost like a house payment, right? And so from the beginning of 2014 to the end of 2022, we end up paying off $72,000 of student loan payments. Yep, just a couple of weeks ago, we paid our final payment towards student loans. Now, our thought process has always been, as I said earlier in the video, guys, we took it out, we pay it. Our responsibility. Now, if you are waiting around on the forbearance for the current student loan debt forgiveness plan, I'm not mad at you at all. I am not upset at you at all. That's okay. It's your prerogative to do that. There's nothing wrong with that at all. If I was at a different place in my life, I might be doing the exact same thing. So I'm not mad at anybody that decides to wait and see what happens with this $10,000 or $20,000 student loan debt forgiveness. But for me, I said, you know what, guys, we had come so far. We had been paying on student loans for close to 30 years by the time this student loan debt forgiveness plan was actually announced and in the works. So I said, you know what? We only have a little bit more to pay. We've gone all these years paying. Let's go ahead and suck it up and make the payments ourselves and not wait around on the student loan debt forgiveness plan, whether or not it would go through or not go through. Let's just do it. And guess what? We did it. We paid off the last of the $72,000, and now I couldn't be happier. And again, if it's your personal decision to wait to see what happens, to not make payments until a decision is made about whether or not this debt forgiveness plan is going to happen or not, that's cool. It's nothing wrong with accepting the $10,000 or the $20,000 if you're a Pell Grant recipient. Nothing wrong with that at all. But for us, we said, let's go ahead and knock it out and not wait on that decision. And today, the balance is zero. And we're just blessed and happy to be able to say, hey, we don't owe anything else on student loans after 31 years and $72,000 of payments. And those payments might have been closer to $90-something thousand total. Hey, we're happy about it. But listen, during that time from 2014 to 2022, guys, we were paying cash for cars. We were also paying for our children's college educations as well, because we didn't want them to start off with a bunch of student loan debt like we did. And they graduated from college debt-free. Unlike we did. We just wanted to make sure that they were set up in a different position in terms of life and not entering life with a whole bunch of college debt. So hey guys, that's our student loan story. Right now, no student loans at all. And we're just a few weeks out from being totally debt-free other than our rental properties and our own primary residence. And hey, you can do it no matter how long it takes. Some of you have been paying those student loans for 35 years. And I've talked to people that have paid on student loans for 38 and 40 years, right? Whether you're 5 years into it, 3 years, 20 years, it doesn't matter. It's possible. You just got to have a plan and do what we did. When we had our $72,000 student loan balance, we put that balance into the debt snowball so we could snowball it up with some other debt that we had. But guess what, guys? It's doable. No matter how much you have, you can do it. That's our story, and we're sticking to it. Hey, listen, guys. I hope you got something of value out of this quick video, just giving you an idea what we went through with student loans. I just want to share that with you guys and say, hey, if we were able to pay off student loans, you can pay off student loans too. Hey, the best person to take care of the old you is the young you. Guys, do me a favor, as always, take care of yourself, but also take care of other people. Until the next video, peace.